Study session Wednesday, we're looking at section 2.4 in the textbook, how to write these two numbers as a ratio, as a fraction, and simplify. So writing it as a fraction just means put one number on top of the other. So I will say that's the first one, it goes on top. Wherever it says 2, that's like the fraction bar, and then the second number. So in the earlier problems before number 71, then if it says, how do you write something as a ratio? Don't make it harder than it is. All we are doing is writing one number on top of the other. So that's all you're doing in those earlier problems. But they also want you to simplify. And we haven't talked during class time yet about how to simplify when you have decimal points kind of clogging things up. If this was just plain numbers, we know how to simplify. If it was, say, 6/28, then we can say, what's the biggest number that's a common factor to both of those? It looks like it's going to be 2. So divide by 2 top and bottom, and then we'd be done. But having decimal places in the middle of the problem makes us feel stuck. Questions so far?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so our secret technique is going back to the decimal point scoots. Remember we talked about this screen? Oops. No. Scoots. Get big enough to see. Okay, remember this screen from lecture on Monday? So
Yeah.
we can do decimal point scoots, and that's the same as times 10 or 100 or 1,000. So I'm going to look at these two decimals, and I want to get rid of the decimal points. So if I multiply this one by 100, that's 2 scoots, and that will change it into a 56. If I multiply this one, I can make it be a 28. I can't just multiply numbers by 10 or 100 whenever I want, though. That changes the number. If somebody measured 0.56, I can't just say, I don't like that, I want it to be 56. So my tool in my toolbox is that I can do something to the top of a fraction, and then I'll have to do it to the bottom to be fair. So I have two options. I could say, let's do a times 10 top and bottom. Or I could say, let's do a times 100 top and bottom. I'm going to start with the one that doesn't work. So don't write this on your paper. If I just did a times 10, that's completely legal. I'm allowed to do times 10 to the top and the bottom of a fraction. But that doesn't get rid of my decimal point all the way. That scoots one scoot, which is nice for the denominator, but the numerator still has a decimal point in it. So if you play around with it, you'll discover very quickly the pattern that whatever needs the most scoots, that's the one you have to do.
Okay.
So I'm going to erase a little bit and say, I need to multiply by 100 top and bottom. So 1, 2, 1, 2. What happens when I sort of run off the edge of a number?
Do you just add a 0?
You do. So I get 56 over 280. And ta-da, now I'm not stuck anymore. Now it looks like what we did up here, where I just have numbers, and they might not be as nice a number, but I just have numbers without decimals. I know what to do. Okay, in this case, I think I can divide top and bottom by 4. That's going to give me what, 1, 14 on the top and 70 on the bottom. I'm doing my mental math correct. Holler if I'm making a mistake, since we've all had a big day. If you're ever not sure about your answer, then you can always go to that calculator. That's so nice. The link at the top of the website.
Mhm.
It knows how to do this. I can just put in 0.56 divided by 2.8. And it's telling me 1/5. Okay, so I messed up somewhere. Where did I mess up? Oh. Oh, I'm just not done. I only messed up because I didn't keep going. So get rid of my box. Divided by 7, top and bottom, and then I get the 1/5. Okay, ta-da. So once again, recap, if you have decimals and they ask you to simplify it, count the most decimal scoots you need, do that to the top and the bottom, and then you get to something you know how to deal with.